with the families of the school children and teachers currently held captive by bandits in the state. In a message shared on X marking the dual celebration of Eid al-Kabir and the National Children's Day, marking of family gatherings and childhood celebrations. Further, to reassure residents of his administration's commitment to resolve the crisis and ensure the safe return of the kidnapped hostages. Recall that almost weeks ago, terrorists raided 3 schools in Orire local government area of the state on May 15, abducting dozens of pupils, including toddlers and teachers, generating widespread outrage among members of. In major economic and aviation news, Aviation and Aerospace Development, Festus Keyamo has officially unveiled the Nigeria Aircraft Leasing Company. The landmark initiative is designed to provide local airlines with easier, more affordable access to modern aircraft, heavily reducing operational strains and positioning Nigeria's local aviation industry for stronger regional competitiveness. In health, the Nigeria Center for Disease Control and Prevention has warned Nigerians against relying on unverified home remedies for the Ebola virus disease, stressing that substances such as bitter cola, salt water, herbs, and seasoning cubes cannot prevent or cure the deadly infection. The agency issued the warning in a public advisory titled Ebola Virus Disease, Myth versus Facts, amid growing concerns and online rumors linked to a regional Ebola outbreak. According to the NCDC, Nigeria has not recorded any confirmed case of Ebola, but misinformation surrounding fake cures could create panic and endanger lives. It added that early reporting, supportive medical care, and strict infection prevention and control measures are critical, while urging citizens to avoid self-medication and seek care promptly if symptoms develop. And taking a look at our global headlines, Israel says it has killed Hamas's newly appointed armed wing chief in Gaza, Mohammed Odeh, during an operation on Tuesday. A relative confirmed his death, saying he was killed alongside his wife and son. The Israeli strike reportedly hit an apartment building in Gaza City's Rimal neighborhood, killing at least 6 people and injuring more than 20 others, according to Gaza health officials. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said Odeh headed Hamas's 2023 attack on Israel and was to replace former commander Izz al-Din al-Haddad, who was killed earlier this month. Meanwhile, Israel says it is expanding military operations in Gaza, Lebanon, and the West Bank as ceasefire talks with Hamas remain stalled. Now moving on to business news with Karima Hassan. Hello, Karima.
Today, we take a quick look at the Nigeria's Exchange Group, also known as the NGX, and its role in Nigeria's economy. The NGX is Nigeria's official stock market where shares of companies are bought and sold. It connects investors who want to grow their money with companies that need funds to expand their businesses. Companies on the NGX include major banks, telecom firms, and oil and gas companies and manufacturers. When people buy shares, they own a small part of those companies. If the companies perform well, investors can make money through rising share prices or dividends. The performance of the NGX is often seen as a sign of investor confidence in the economy. A rising market usually reflects optimism, while a falling market may point to economic uncertainty or policy concerns. Factors like inflation, interest rates, government policy, exchange rates, and global trends can also affect market performance. Beyond trading shares, the NGX supports economic growth by helping businesses raise long-term funds for expansion and job creation. Participate actively in stock market due to limited financial and economic concern. The NGX remains an important part of Nigeria's financial system. In simple terms, the Nigerian Exchange Group is not just a place to shares. It is also a reflection of the country's economic health and investors' confidence. That's it on Business Updates. Stay with us for newspaper review.
Welcome back from that break, and now we'll be moving on to the newspaper review with Abubakar Turaki. Abubakar, how are you?
I'm fine. Happy Eid.
Happy Eid to you too.
Thank
I love
you so
your
much.
outfit today.
Today is a big day.
Indeed. I love how you are repping the culture.
Thank you so much.
So after this very intense review that would have, I'll be coming to your house to eat my ram.
Well,
no
you're
excuses,
welcome.
please.
You're a colleague to me.
All right, so let's just quickly begin with our first newspaper, and we'll be looking at Vanguard newspaper. And the front page says, "Dark days over, light is here, Tinubu assures Nigerians." Why are you laughing, Abubakar?
Dark days is over.
Are dark days truly over for Nigerians?
Well, to him it's over.
Well, you don't think so?
I don't think Nigerians are paying the price.
Why? Tell us more. Tell us more.
Well, thank you so much. I think this is a tradition of most of our leaders, especially if they are in the helm of the affairs of the government. Every festive period, they used to give a press release. Their spokesman used to write it to them, bring it to them, and they will come on the national television to be telling Nigerians some English, which most of them are not that implementable. As you know, today the Muslims around the globe are celebrating the day of Eid. So the president is telling Nigerians that dark days are over. And part of the statement he gave to Nigeria, he stated that the country now is in a very stable condition. And he said that part of the reforms he brought, he is of that belief that people outside are coming to Nigeria to come and invest. So I wonder what the president is trying to communicate with Nigerians in a country where it is very, very impossible to go 24 hours without having kidnapping or one of the issue of insecurity. And he also stated that, if I could remember day before yesterday, in one of his acceptance speech, he said that he is finding it very difficult to sleep, and most of his reforms, due to the reform he brought in this country, he lose weight.
So should we say that this is not, I think it's better to call this a message of hope and not a literal meaning, because a lot of Nigerians, just like you, they differ on this. But do you think that what are some of the indices that you think one can use to measure that truly there is growth or there is productivity in a country?
When the purchasing power is okay, everyone can enter into market, obtain what he wants to obtain. Everybody can drive through to the nearest filling station, buy the fuel at the rate of that is very, very affordable to Nigeria. Everybody can travel from north to the east to the south freely without panicking. Everybody can afford to at least 3 square meals a day. Everybody can afford at least a shelter to sleep under it. Students that were still under captivity of some bandits, they should have their own freedom. I think these are the indices that we need to look at before the president come out and say that dark days are over. While they are there panicking, while they are busy scramble and petition of 2027, they are there as people that were adopted.
I was just telling Abubakar a while ago that I've not been able to sleep well since I saw the videos of the children in captivity, and today is even Children's Day, and it just brought back memories of how Children's Day used to be. 10-year-old me would be very happy that a day like this was occurring, and then instead what we are seeing now are pictures and videos of children as little as 2, in the bush, being subjected to very inhumane treatment. And even let's talk about the price of cooking gas. How much is cooking gas in your area?
1 kg is almost 1,700 naira.
I bought 1 kg of cooking gas for 1,800 naira this morning before coming to work. So if dark days are over, then
I believe if dark days are over, I believe by now, I'm not an economic expert. And no matter what, I have my own understanding. I believe a country that their own citizens can afford at least should not find a way of discriminating. Maybe you have it, I don't have. Let everybody have basic amenity to use and have and obtain. These are the indices that I'm expecting the president to come out and say. And I'm expecting that if dark days are over, Nigerians by now will start at least buying fuel at the rate of 95 naira. 100 naira per liter.
I'll just call that a very tall and long dream.
It's possible if they can at least put more strategy ahead of what they are planning.
Let's just hope there is light at the end of this tunnel for us. So let's just quickly
I doubt if there is any light with the way things are really going on in this country. Sometimes if you look at what is going on in Nigeria, it really baffles a lot of people.
Yes, so let's just quickly go on to our next newspaper. We'll be looking at Daily Trust, and it says, May 27, despite advocacy, Nigerian children remain vulnerable. And this is just a continuation of the discussion we are already having. What can we do to ensure that Nigerian children are safe? Because getting an education is now a problem. Going to a place of worship is now a problem. So on today, a very May 27th, since we are shining the spotlight on issues that concern children, what direction should the federal government be really looking at if they want to see happy children in the next 10 years?
I think they should put more emphasis in bringing policies that will at least uplift the status quo of children in the entire country. And they should also, subject to what UNESCO say, at least almost 50 to 20% of every country's budget should be allocated to education. And once if we have that, at least our children will have more, will be more creative. At least we have to have more governable and safer place for our people. I recently saw a story and of one physically disabled girl that has been lamenting due to she is actually vulnerable among her own pair. She cannot walk, and she's finding it difficult to access to some amenities that are being put by the government. The government is really trying, but at least the government needs to do more. At least everything that the government is going to bring, they should try and prioritize the children, because the children are the future leaders of tomorrow. And if we really want to have it right, we should catch them young.
Yes.
So the government should at least put more emphasis in bringing policies that would at least make them more governable, more feasible, and more educative enough, and more creative enough, because I think we are now in 21st century. We should not put more emphasis on theoretical aspect of education. Rather, we should try and put more emphasis on the practical aspect of education, whereby if you at least you are done with your own A-level or O-level, at least you just be able to at least stand on your own. You'll be a kind of like somebody that can at least stand on his own, at least have a business, or try and at least be on your own. But in some policies that we see, some of the government that they are bringing, I doubt even the adults have something to appreciate on that policies.
Yes, and you know, the Child Rights Act has been domesticated in virtually
in some
all
states. States.
Almost all the states actually. But do we really see the state governments? Do you think the state governments are doing enough in terms of ensuring that children are safe, children are given a level playing field? Because the statistics that we are seeing for the numbers of children that are out of school, statistics on child labor, and several other statistics, it's quite alarming and quite pitiable. So now I have two questions in one. First off, what do you think that the state government should be doing? And then second, what do you think that how do you think parents can also come into the picture to ensure that children are safe? Because it starts from the home as well.
The truth of the matter, I don't expect that you don't have the capacity to give birth to certain number of children that you cannot be able to take care of them.
Very, very important.
This is one of the major important reasons, because you can't just come and give birth to certain amount of children that you will not be able to take care of them. And at the tail end, you'll just push them to the street. If you go out in the street of Abuja at night, you will see them hawking, busy rushing within the traffic, trying to wash your own windscreen.
Yes.
These are children that they are supposed to be at home in a very conducive atmosphere, learning. At least they should have a balanced diet, eat, think, stay with their parent, mentor them, lecture them, listen to them, what plans do they have in future? What do they really want to offer for this country? Try and internalize moral, try and internalize nationalism, but you are here pushing them, sending them away in the street. At the tail end, they may likely be drug barons, drug cartels. They will likely end up their life like having all those sex workers. And at the end, if care is not taken, they may likely find themselves among those people that are being perpetuated these social vices, maybe banditry, kidnapping, armed robbery, and all sorts of this. It all started from their own parental negligence that they were unable to at least cater for them. Give birth to certain number of children that you'll be able to cater for them. If you are thinking you cannot do that, we are now in a very educative society. You should have consult a medical doctor. At least you should go for a family planning. At least you and your spouse, you can be able to tempt and control the number of child that you are going to push them in their own society. But it has an undertone that is associated with the high level of illiteracy, poverty, and lack of unemployment. If you look at all those people that are living in a very flamboyant life, most of them, they are the ones that have the least number of children.
Very true. And then you find somebody who is barely surviving, having 8 children, 9 children.
I could remember, I know somebody that is actually surviving on a salary scale of 18,500 before the new national minimum wage was implemented. He got married. He was married, and he went ahead and added another wife. And how will that 18,500 naira will be able to cater for your own needs?
Yes. I can just recall to that too, because I've had those experiences growing up in the north. I had, neighbors. I had a particular neighbor that had like 2 wives and so many children. Like every time I come back from school, I would always see that there is a new child, and I'm like, how many children does this man want to have? And the last time I even traveled home, I discovered that most of those children are no longer
in school. Maybe they are being pushed to the street.
Yes.
And you will see they will, sorry to cut you short, they will just find a way of taking them to what they call Almajiri school system. And that Almajiri school system, there is no any blueprint that is being put in place to them. Virtually from what they are going to eat, they are going to go out and beg. If they are sick, that is why the high level of malnutrition is high. And this thing, the chunk of this thing is happening in the northern Nigeria. Where are we heading to? Is this the northern Nigeria that Sardauna Tafawa Balewa dreamed of seeing?
I think this Children's Day today is a day for everybody to just, introspect and go back to the drawing board and start making making decisions that would indeed protect the rights of Nigerian children and just ensure that, they are given an opportunity to live, to dream, and just to be happy. Thank you so much, Abubakar, for taking out time, despite the celebration, to come in the studio and have this chat with us.
Thank you so much.
That's it on Newspaper Review today. Up next is S24 Report, coming to you after the break.
There was a time childhood sounded like evening laughter on dusty streets, when friendship meant knocking on your neighbor's door instead of sending a friend request, when children played until sunset and mothers called them home from afar.
Most times we have the freedom to go out, mingle with friends. We had a lot of games that we play, like one which is swear, they draw lines on the ground, and a lot of exciting games we play during our own days. But these days, you could see that the social media has actually taken part of everything now. It's most children, what they normally do is, they watch games, PS, watch cartoons, and the rest of them. But the internet throws a lot of harm more than good. I'll encourage them to choose that right path, which will give them a better future, because they have the great opportunities. They also have opportunities that will mar their life or make them. So I admonish them to choose the one that will make them, because in the internet, in the social media, there are so many harm. They are also good. Some things they can learn. I admonish them to choose those right steps steps that will take them to the topmost. Teachers are very, very close to their learners, checking their activities, how they are faring, their moral life, and everything literally within the classroom, because teachers are very close to them. The emotional connection is also there these days. So you can see that a teacher will be in the classroom setting and will know what is wrong with the child. When there is mood swing, when the child is not happy, you pay attention to the child. These are the things that were not available then.
And perhaps the real question this Children's Day is not whether leaders of tomorrow, but whether adults are creating a tomorrow worthy of children.
Dear future me, I hope you become successful and add to the growth of Nigeria.
Dear future me, I hope you achieve all your goals and you add to the success of the world.
Dear future me, I hope you achieve all your goals and do not let anyone bring you down.
Dear future me, I hope you become the doctor that you always wanted to be and a successful dermatologist.
I want to become a teacher in the future because I want others who cannot afford education to have free education. I want to build 6 schools in 6 countries, and some will be free, so people who are poor can have free education.
I think children should be celebrated is to be loved, cared, and be cherished through their life. And the way I think that Children's Day should be celebrated is that children should have a special bonding time with their parents, so that they can feel loved.
I believe that every child should have the right to freely express themselves, because it is very important for a child to freely express themselves in front of their parents about what they want to be and what they want to do in life.
So the skills that I'm going to be learning for the future that I'm currently learning are cybersecurity and UI/UX design, because the world is going into a tech-driven age, and these skills will be important in the near future, let's say 15, 30 years from now.
Happy Children's Day! We are the leaders of tomorrow!
Welcome to Political Area on S24 Television. This afternoon, we turn our focus to a growing concern in the democracy, the rising wave of political apathy among citizens as the nation gradually builds towards the 2027 general election. Why are more people stepping back from political participation? Is it frustration, distrust, or a deeper connection between the leadership and the led? To unpack these questions, I'm joined by my guest, Ojipon Alexander Intellectually. Thank you very much for coming, Alex.
Thank you for having me.
Who will help us understand the sense of the nation's mood? Okay, so Mr. Alex, we are gradually moving towards the 2027 general election. Why are more citizens, both the adults and the young, not wanting to participate in the election? What is the reason behind this political apathy? Can you explain to us on that, please?
Okay, so there are different reasons of why the level of political participation in the country is going down, as can be seen from historical factor, right from the Fourth Republic of 1999 till now. The percentage of people participating in election has been going down. So you see that the only time we've had about 60% has been at about 2015, and since then it has been going down to the present 30-something percent, 36% that we have now. So different factors have influenced why the mood of the electorate has soured towards elections, such as corruption and other factors that can be included in lack of governance, and then the corruption issue and all.
Okay, Mr. Alex, can we link economic hardship directly to the lack of interest in politics the citizens have? You did mention corruption. I know it's part, but can we link the economic hardship? Should the economic hardship not be one reason why they should strive harder to elect a better leader that will put economic stability in place?
So the issue of the economy and everything also contributes to the lack of political participation in ways such as, if people most of the times focus more on their business. If the economy is bad, focus more on their businesses instead of having time for political things and all. So it is known that in an economy, once the economy becomes bad, or in the country, once the economy becomes bad, the people tend to lose interest in the political arena, because first of all, they have to go to their works, they have to look for money, things are tight. So there's there's no way they are going to leave their businesses to come and stand on a line for election. And
yes.
So the economic aspect of a country is very important for the political participation or for a political movement in the country.
Okay. That's very well, Mr. Alex. As the electoral body failed to convince the citizens that their votes count and their voices actually matter?
Yeah, actually, completely. Because you can see in different instances of the electoral body, INEC, failing to ensure or failing to make citizens to believe that the election goes according, like people's votes are being counted accordingly.
Can you cite those instances for
us? So you can see in 2023,
yes,
the cases of the present president and the other running candidates that were around. So most people, based on the whole movements that were going, the articulates and the obedient movement,
yes,
and then most people felt that their other candidates won, and based on the failure of the beavers and all. So there was no accountability, or there was no clear procedure that to come out and say this is what we followed, these are the documents, you can follow them by yourself to have a winner.
Okay, very well, Mr. Alex. So you mentioned earlier that from the Fourth Republic till now, the political participation of people has reduced to like 4%, 36% rather.
Yeah.
Would you say bad leadership, lack of accountability, good governance has led the citizens to actually relax and not exactly care about who governed them anymore?
Yes. You can see that bad leadership contributes exponentially to why people don't care about who leads them anymore. If you keep on voting, and the people that you vote inside vote to power rather,
yes,
go on and continue messing up the country, then you don't think anything's going to change. Then you're going to lose faith that, no matter how much I vote, no matter how much I do this, it's going to continue becoming bad and bad and bad. So that's why the participation, the percentages have been going down right from 2015 and 1999.
Okay, Mr. Alex. You are saying bad leadership has contributed to the political apathy amongst the citizens.
Yes.
But do you not think if they are not politically inclined and involved in the political arena, how will they chase out the bad leadership?
That is when you now come back to the issue of corruption and accountability. Now,
so it's like a circle.
It's like a circle. In economics, there's called a poverty, on any cycle of poverty. Okay. But in this case, there's only a cycle of bad leadership, governance, and all. So as you go around and around, you go back to voting leaders, and then you come into bad governance. Then it completes back to bad leadership, and also some people can't see the justification for going out to vote or for participating politically. But in my point of view, I feel like no matter the amount of hardship or the amount of economic hardship that we see, people should engage politically, because that is the only way that you can have a new government, and that can be done in different ways.
Nigerians, did you hear that? Okay, ahead of this 2027 election, we have seen a lot of young citizens come online to demand accountability from the government, to demand answers, to know why, the reasons, and to actually talk about government, what the government has done, and all of that. Does that mean younger people are getting more politically inclined and engaged?
No, it actually does not.
It doesn't?
It doesn't. In some ways it does, but in most, the majority ways it does not.
So social media activism does not count?
Yes, it does not really count as much. It counts, but it does not really count as much, because, as I say, politics happens on the ground.
Politics is practical?
Yes, it's practical. So when you campaign online, or when the few of the people that are socially active, that are on all the social medias and all, and they make a movement and all, and then it does not reflect to the ground, because most of the youth, especially the youth that I know, are not interested in political participation based on, last time I voted, nothing changed. Last time I vote does not count again, and everything. So there are two ways of looking at it. So it's not just a black and white picture. So you can look at it from two different angles. So some ways it does, some ways it doesn't.
Okay. So what do you advise them to do? What do you advise them to do if social media activism doesn't count, like you said, or doesn't count much rather?
Yeah.
What form of activism do you think they should engage in, as protests are not exactly welcome in this country?
Yeah, so in any stable democracy, it's supposed to be welcome, first of all. But then I'm not calling for a protest. In as much as you are going to have a social media political movement, you are supposed to have a physical social movement where you see the movement that it is moving. So you look at countries that have the same social media movements and then have the movement on the ground. Say example of Senegal. That is the only way they moved out the entrenched political class that they had in their country. And that is the only way. Now they have the president that they wanted, even if the other one was bad from election. So from the political aspects, then they backed it up with the movement on the ground.
One last question, Mr. Alex. What roles, as citizens are really important in the participation of the governance of a nation, what roles do you think political parties can play in order to raise the level of trust that citizens have in their government and their candidates and their electoral borders?
Okay, so the political parties have different roles to play. Example, so for one, they can also clean up their primary systems. So we have cases of people double counting during the primaries to have a particular candidate. We have cases of consensus, which can be consensus that everybody agree, or it can be they be forced to agree. So you have to clean up that system to be able to build the trust that this is a clean system, this is what we're going to follow. And then building back trust is going to make these people to trust you more and want to participate more. Then other ways by sensitization and then explaining to the electorate that this was the past, this is the future. So cleaning up and sensitization goes hand in hand to move everything forward.
And even the primary elections to count before the major election.
Yes, it does.
Thank you very much for joining us, Mr. Alex. And that is where we'll be wrapping up today's political arena.
Fresh calls for greater continental unity have again taken center stage, with diplomats and policy advocates pushing for the creation of a United States of Africa. At a press briefing in Abuja, the Chief Executive Officer of the African School of Diplomacy and International Relations, Professor Tunji John Ashaolu, said Africa can no longer afford to remain divided by colonial-era borders and fragmented national interests. According to him, political and economic integration remains critical to the continent's development, global relevance, and long-term prosperity.
It is overdue when I say that the child that was given birth to since 1963. We are looking at that child. We today mark 63 years, so about 6 decades. So it's no longer a baby. So it is a full-grown adult that needs to know full culture about the rights. So if we are still saying that it's not right, we'll be wondering. If we don't do it, I'm sorry, that will be able to find it difficult, able to do.
The diplomat also renewed calls for the implementation of visa-free movement across Africa through the African Continental Free Trade Area and the African Common Passport Initiative. He noted that colonial borders continue to hinder trade, movement, regional integration, and economic opportunities among Africans.
There is a saying that the right time to plant a tree will appear, years back yesterday, but nevertheless, another best time to plant a tree is now. So since we have not been able to achieve it in the past, and if we don't take that step right, it may also be difficult able to achieve. So I think the time is right. All Africans should know that Africa first before they talk about whether I'm in Nigeria or I'm from Ghana or where I feel. If you can take that Africa first, then the journey is closer. So invariably, we are also saying that for us to say Africa first, then that's something that must also bind us together. One, and that identity is common passport. So we are saying that if this can be achieved, for us to be operating under just one platform of Africa common passports, I think that can make it to say we have the same identity.
The event, held under the theme One Africa, One Voice, One Future, renewing the call for the United States of Africa, was organized to commemorate Africa Day 2026, observed annually on May 25th. Gloria Atta, reporting for S24 Television.
Technology has humanity slowly become dependent on technology instead? Good day and welcome to today's tech segment. Today, we are looking at a very important and critical topic, technology and its effect on the human race. Over the years, technology has completely transformed the way we live, communicate, and interact with the world around us. From sending handwritten letters that took days or weeks, we now send messages across the world in seconds. With just a smartphone, we can attend classes, run businesses, shop, and even consult doctors without leaving our homes. Technology has made life easier in many positive ways. In communication, it has connected families and friends across continents. In healthcare, it has improved diagnosis, treatment, and even made surgeries more precise and successful. In education, students now have access to unlimited information online and can learn from anywhere in the world. And in work life, remote jobs and digital platforms have created new opportunities for people globally. However, despite these benefits, technology also comes with its challenges. Today, many people are becoming addicted to their phones and social media, spending more time online than interacting in real life. Human interaction is gradually reducing, even among friends sitting down in the same room. Mental health is also being affected, especially among young people, due to comparison culture, online pressure, and constant exposure to unrealistic lifestyle. There is also the concern of artificial intelligence and automation replacing certain jobs, raising questions about the future of employment. Another growing issue is the attention span. Many people now struggle to focus for long periods without checking their devices. So the big question is this: are we controlling technology, or is technology truly controlling us? When we look closely, technology is not just something we use anymore. It has become something we depend on daily. From the moment we wake up to when we go to bed, many of our activities revolve around it. We check notifications first thing in the morning, rely on maps to move everywhere, use apps to study, work, shop, and even to relax. In many ways, technology has quietly become part of our routine, shaping how we think, act, and respond to life. More importantly, can humanity find the balance between embracing innovation and maintaining real human connection? This is where the challenge lies. We are living in a world where everything is becoming faster, smarter, and more digital. While this is a great advantage, it also means we must be intentional about not losing touch with real-life relationship, face-to-face conversation, and genuine human experiences. The danger is not technology itself, but how easily we can drift into overdependence without realizing it. As we continue to advance in technology, it is important that we use it wisely, not excessively. Technology should improve our lives, not replace our humanity. It should remain a tool that supports us in learning, in communication, in health, and development, not something that disconnects us from people around us. At the end of the day, the goal is to balance, to enjoy the benefits of innovation while still holding our humanity, our relationship, and our ability to live beyond the screen. Thank you for listening and stay tuned for more tech updates. I'm glad it's a sequel.
If you think Nigeria only has modern celebrations and concerts, wait till you hear this. Hello and welcome to Entertainment Update, where we bring you the biggest stories in culture, lifestyle, and entertainment. Are you still waiting? Good. Now, every year in Ijebu Ode, Ogun State, something extraordinary happens. A festival where royalty, culture, fashion, and history all collide in one breathtaking spectacle. This is the Ojude Oba Festival. Ojude Oba Festival, meaning the King's Forecourt, is a centuries-old Yoruba festival celebrated by the Ijebu people, usually on the third day after Eid Kabir. What makes it unique is its purpose. It is a grand homage to the Awujale, the traditional ruler of Ijebu land. What started over 100 years ago as a small gathering of Muslim faithful giving thanks to the king for religious freedom has now transformed into a massive cultural celebration, attracting hundreds of thousands of people from across Nigeria and the diaspora. On festival day, the town comes alive with color and rhythm. The famous age-grade groups march in beautifully coordinated traditional attire, each group showcasing pride, unity, social contribution. Horse riders, known as the Balogun warriors, also parade majestic style, adding royal energy to the atmosphere. Beyond the glamour, Ojude Oba is deeply symbolic. It represents unity among people of different faiths, from Muslims, Christians, and the traditional worshippers. Here, they all come together. It is also a celebration of identity, heritage, and respect for traditional leadership. Today, it has grown into not just a cultural event, but a global attraction, placing Ijebu culture firmly on the world stage. So Ojude Oba is more than a festival. History in motion, culture in display, and pride on full parade, reminding us that tradition is not something we leave behind, but something we proudly wear. That's a wrap on Entertainment Update. Word on the street is that the organizing committee of the Ojude Oba Festival has confirmed that the 2026 edition of the cultural celebration will hold as scheduled, despite the transition of the Awujale of Ijebu land, late Oba Sikiru Kayode Adetono. Shh, you didn't hear from me. Thanks for watching.
Hi everyone, welcome to your sports updates. The countdown is on, and in just a few weeks, the world will stop for football as the biggest tournament on the planet kicks off this June 2026. From packed stadiums to millions watching across the globe, the FIFA World Cup is once again ready to deliver drama, passion, heartbreak, and unforgettable. Kylian Mbappe finally dominate an entire World Cup. England to long-awaited success. Junior help bring back the trophy back to Brazil. What could be the final World Cup chapter for legends like Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo? This tournament is expected to be one of the most exciting ever. More teams, more matches, more rivalries, and more nations dreaming of history. Every World Cup creates moments that live forever. Stunning goals, last-minute winners, shocking upsets, and emotional celebrations that unite fans everywhere. Africa will also have its eyes firmly on the competition, with supporters hoping the continent can finally produce a finalist or even maybe a champion. Countries across Africa are preparing to rally behind their teams with passion, pride, and belief. And beyond the football, World Cup is about culture, energy, and global connection. Streets will be painted in national colors, watch parties will take over cities, and social media will explode with reaction every single match day. What's in is certain? Once again, that's it on your sports updates. Coming up next is PJ News.
My people, now good afternoon, and I dey welcome una on top the Tori segment where they drop you and about wetin dey shele for home and away. Now me be una personal person wey be Hadiza Galadima. Oya draw chair, come closer, kia make we enter the main matter wey dey for ground. We go start with security agencies across Nigeria as they don't tighten security as Muslims celebrate 2026 Eid al-Kabir. State government and security operatives then don't and say they don't put several measures to protect important places and keep citizens safe during the festive period. Unto say security matter don't pass, be careful, and reports don't dig ground unto say possible attack fee happen. Inspector General of Police will be Olatunji Diso don order heavy deployment of security personnel across the country to ensure peaceful Salah celebration. Police authorities don direct commissioners and DPOs to secure Eid prayer grounds, markets, highways, and other public places. Meanwhile, residents for Borno State and Kwara State don receive advice make them for reduce movement and make them avoid large gatherings during the celebration. Still on top Eid matter, President Bola Tinubu with other several state governors them don't call on Nigerians, make them embrace peace, unity, and religious tolerance. Separate Salah messages, them urge citizens, them made them use the celebration, pray for peace, improved security, and better economic growth for the country. The Christian Association of Nigeria don't also send goodwill message to Muslim faithfuls. They don't even say na season of sacrifice and is supposed to encourage hope, love, and support among Nigerians despite current economic hardship. And for your state, Governor Sheyi Makinde don't assure school children, them, and teachers say government they to safeguard and bring victims back safely. For a message we share on X during Eid el-Kabir and Children's Day celebration, Makinde say he understand the pain and sadness families they pass through during waiting supposed to be and celebration. The governor promised say in administration no go relent at all until all adopted school picking them and teachers return safely. Remember say on May 15th, terrorists attacked 3 schools for Orire local government area and wele many school children them, including toddlers and teachers who cause outreach across the country. And onto aviation and economic news, Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development will be Festus Keyamo don unveil the Nigeria Aircraft Leasing Company. Government yan say the initiative will help local airlines get easier and cheaper access to modern aircraft, reduce operational challenges, and improve Nigeria aviation sector competitiveness across the region. And for health matter, the Nigeria Center for Disease Control and Prevention don't warn Nigerians against fake Ebola cures circulating online. The agency say bitter cola, salt water, herbs, and seasoning cubes no fit prevent or cure Ebola virus disease. NCDC explains say although Nigeria never recorded any confirmed Ebola case, false informate fit create panic and put life at risk. The agency advised Nigerians to avoid self-medication and sharply seek medical attention if Ebola symptoms show. They still say early treatment and proper infection control remain very important. And last onto Obodo Ibo matter, Israel say the military don't kill new Hamas armed wing chief will be Mohammed Ode during operations for Gaza. Family members confirm say Ode died alongside his wife and his son. Reports custody on ground say the Israeli airstrike hit one apartment building for Gaza City, killing at least 6 people and injuring over 20 others. Israeli Prime Minister will be Benjamin Netanyahu talk say Mohammed Ode play key role during the October 7, 2023 Hamas attack on Israel and recently replaced former commander Is al-Din al-Haddad who died earlier this month. Meanwhile, Israel military talks say operations for Gaza, Lebanon, and the West Bank don't expand as ceasefire talks with Hamas still depend. Now here we take hand today boot on top the story where they share for Nigeria and Obodo Ibo. My name na Hadiza Galadima. My people, it go be.
Thank you, Hadiza, for that version of our news. And this brings us to the end of S24 News Rundown. Do join us next time as you follow us on all our social media platforms at S24 Television. My name is Gloria Atta, and once days.